My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. Other people want to make friends? I'm just trying to make you some money. My job is not just to entertain, but to educate, teach, put it in context. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. Is this the beginning of the end? Have we finally found a way to contain the pandemic? Today we got some very encouraging data from Gilead on Remdesivir, their powerful antiviral drug which helps people recover from severe cases of COVID-19 a lot faster. We're talking in and out of the hospital in 11 days rather than 15 for patients who got the placebo, along with a small but significant reduction in mortality rate, although even that's been up for debate in the afternoon. But listen to me. It may not sound huge, but the results were so compelling that the doctors had to stop the clinical trial. It just wasn't ethical to keep giving people the placebo when they knew Remdesivir could help. And that is bingo. Now, look, I've been telling you an effective treatment for COVID could be a game changer, saying it over and over again. I said that it probably would be Remdesivir. And sure enough, the market screamed higher in response. Dow surging 532 points. S&P running 2.66%. The Nasdaq leaping an astounding 3.75%. With much of the country preparing to reopen for business. Bye. The big worry is that coming out of the quarantine will trigger a new wave of infections that could overwhelm the healthcare system. Frankly, it does almost seem inevitable. There was a real possibility that we'd be in and out of lockdown for the next year until we get a vaccine. Because, look, we're not tested enough. We don't wear masks in this country. We don't do contact tracing. But wait a second. Remdesivir changes the equation. With a course of medicine that saves lives and reduces the strain on our hospitals, reopening the country right before we do it, well, it becomes a lot less risky. Now, there are tons of skeptics out there who question everything from the drug's efficacy to its actual impact on the stock market. I see it in my Twitter feed. No one in the Twitter feed I know thinks it's anything other than a hoax. Oh, give me a break. I'll give you this, though. I don't blame you if you're skeptical, but listen to me. In some ways, I know the study doesn't seem that impressive. Only takes the mortality rate from 11% down to 8%. That's not nothing. It's hardly a cure. Remember, vaccines stop things. This is an antiviral. So then what's the deal? Why was I so excited? Why was the market so excited from the get-go, from the opening bell? It's simple. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, the guy who has the most credibility on COVID-19, said the results of the Remdesivir trial reminded him of his first real victory in the fight against HIV/AIDS way back in the 1980s, when it was still a death sentence. He actually compared Remdesivir to AZT, which was the groundbreaking anti-HIV drug that turned the tide. That's right. It started. When I heard that, I said, oh, my gosh, I remember it. I remember when it happened. And you couldn't believe it, that a disease that never would be cured, that they made a breakthrough. Okay, well, we still haven't totally cured HIV, but we've developed a cocktail of medications that have turned into a mostly manageable condition. AZT was the first real ray of hope. Now, Fauci's a pretty buttoned-up guy. He's been skeptical of other proposed treatments for COVID-19. In fact, I can say he's been anything but encouraging, including towards some of the president's more ill-advised nostrums. Oh, not today. No, not today. Today, he struck a very different tone. Yes, the virus will still be lethal. Yes, this is an incremental improvement, not a panacea. But, man, yesterday we had nothing. It's a big deal. It's the first ingredient of a cocktail Fauci's been itching to put together, like he did to defeat AIDS. I'm so glad he stuck around. And that's why the market roared higher today. And make no mistake, this move was all about Remdesivir. I can say that with confidence because we're right in the middle of earnings season. And Wall Street hasn't exactly been thrilled with many of these reports. Let's go over some. When you look at the 5 big companies that reported last night and this morning, 4 of them were actually received poorly on an earnings basis. AMD, Starbucks, General Electric, and Boeing, although Boeing finished up nearly 6% for reasons other than earnings or demand. The lone winner was Alphabet on an earnings basis. As usual, all the macro data was terrible. I mean, you can't even look at these numbers because they seem so 1932-ish. And nothing new there. Fed did nothing of any significance. It was all Gilead. I know this because I interviewed the CEOs of Boeing, Starbucks, GE, and AMD this morning, and in each case, their weakness stemmed from the pandemic. Lisa Su, the brilliant CEO of AMD, put up a fantastic number, gave a solid forecast despite COVID-19. The fact that she even had a forecast was actually a big deal. However, she trimmed the low end of her sales guidance, COVID, of course, and the analysts pronounced it a slowdown. Some of them even whispered that AMD is beginning to cede its lead to processors to Intel. That's nonsense. AMD delivered an excellent quarter that was slowed by customers who were dealing with the deadly virus that shut down vast swaths of the global economy. It's a testament to the strength of AMD's end markets, laptops, data centers, gaming, that the numbers were so strong even in this tough environment. Give me a break. The truth is AMD ran up to the quarter. Now it's getting hit with all the predictable sell-offs like every time. I said, buy it. If we can get COVID under control sooner than expected, AMD's fourth quarter, gigantic. Then there's Starbucks, which got slammed in the beginning of the quarter because they had lots of exposure to China, then got slammed again at the end of the quarter when they had lots of exposure to here and the rest of the world, ultimately forcing them to close half the stores in America. Now, look, there's no way this could be anything but a horrible quarter. So it's a horrible quarter. But now China's reopened and Starbucks is putting up new stores with alacrity there. Another week, they'll start opening their shuttered stores here in America. Once that happens, I bet Starbucks returns to growth mode because people need their caffeine. They love that nitro. Stocks a buy. Next, I might as well lump Boeing and General Electric together because they're suffering from the same ailment. This pandemic has wrecked the aerospace industry, and the 737 MAX debacle sure didn't help. We have no idea when the FAA will let the MAX fly again. I know Southwest Air has said that they don't expect any good news on this front until the end of October. But the real problem is that nobody's flying right now. Demand! So the airlines are stretched thin, and lots of them are canceling their orders. Boeing and GE desperately need this virus to be contained. Remdesivir makes that a real possibility because it starts the process of removing the huge and justifiable fear factor. Why did Boeing manage to rally if its GE didn't go? I think it's because Boeing's new CEO, David Calhoun, came on Squawk on the Street this morning, made us feel like he's going to get a loan, meaning he can borrow money that will be backstopped by the Fed at probably a low rate, and not sell equity to the Treasury Department as some feared. It wouldn't surprise me if they augment that borrowing with a gigantic issuance of equity like Southwest Air did very successfully this morning. Hey, listen, if Boeing does a secondary here, buy. As for GE, I don't know what to say, except that it's better to be lucky than good, and they're not lucky. Still, I believe in CEO Larry Culp. I believe in his ability to turn things around with this Remdesivir data. I think GE, too, is a buy. How about Alphabet? It reported a good quarter. Saw its stock rally nearly 9%. Did that contribute to the rally? Well, wait a second. Ruth Porat, Alphabet's fabulous CFO, mentioned that there might be some green shoots in advertising when all that was really visible before this was a burned-down lawn. But then she spent the rest of the conference poo-pooing her own optimism. The real reason Alphabet roared well, the word they used was efficient. The word I use is profligacy, as in the end of an era of profligacy and the beginning of an era of aggressive profitability. When Alphabet is one of these periodic cycles where it's trying to make as much money as possible, like it did coming out of the Great Recession, you got to own this stock. This one took me by surprise. I gotten used to blown quarters, not blowouts. Losing streak, over. But you can't really extrapolate from Alphabet to anybody else. Today was all about this drug, okay? Marking the turn. Now, tomorrow could be different in a positive way. We got extraordinary numbers from Facebook, Microsoft, and Tesla this very evening. Real eye-poppers, with Facebook saying the first 3 weeks of April were stable. That kind of blew me away. The stock soared in the after hours right when it made that pre-announcement. These are big companies. These are big numbers. Bottom line, for the true skeptics, I know how hard it is to believe that such a seemingly insignificant clinical trial of some old off-the-shelf drug could have this kind of positive impact. You don't believe me now. You're going to complain about me later. Enjoy yourself. This drug makes a big difference, especially if you were worried about a second wave of infections after we reopen the economy. Remdesivir, it's just what the doctor ordered. Weston in Ohio. Weston.
Booyah, Jim. With the risk of shortages like meat in the U.S. and rice coming from India and Thailand, how can we trade agro-commodities right now? What trading platforms can young investors begin to utilize to buy and sell commodities? And would it be better to buy the producers and suppliers like Beyond Meat and the Andersons?
Let's not outthink this, my friend. Let's not outthink this. You buy deer. Now, your name is Weston, so I was kind of thinking about Lamb Weston, but then I decided that was just being too cute. You buy deer. We don't fool around. We buy the highest quality. We're going to Sean in Virginia. Sean.
Hey, Jim. I'm calling in today about ABM Industries. It's a company
Really?
which primarily...
That's not what you buy in a pandemic, my friend. We're going to have to take a pass on that. I can't. Pete, it's already moved up so much. I mean, they do a lot of repair, rehab. I would love them to come on because they're facilities management company. But it has had such a strong move. I'm going to have to say no to that one. Michael in New York. Michael.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay.
I'm a longtime listener, and we actually spoke about Okta back in May of 2018 when it was around 40.
Okta's up 110. That's a Cramer family favorite. What's going on?
Hey, I think it might have been my family favorite before yours.
Well, that's it. They got that young fella. He's not that young, actually. Go ahead.
Hey, anyway, I read the Gartner's Magic Quadrant report, which I know you're familiar with.
You bet.
And since reading that, I've actually bought some Gartner, CrowdStrike, and Nutanix in this, zero identity cybersecurity space, which has kind of turned into a COVID security space.
Yes.
And in that report, I read about a really interesting company called Ping Identity.
Ping? Yeah, I got to do work on Ping. These stocks are so hard. I've been going with the CrowdStrike, pulling up with the Palo Alto, and the far turning and going with the. Well, anyway, I got to do more work on Ping. It's interesting. Thank you for those kind words. By the way, tonight, I didn't even mention the president is saying some good things about oil and gas. No wonder there's a short squeeze to end all short squeezes in oil and gas this very evening. Ping! All right, today's move was all about something that the bears don't want to concede. But they're wrong. Remdesivir. Thank you, Gilead. Maybe we've reached the beginning of the beginning on Made Money Tonight. Is there still an appetite for Yum brands? Hey, remember, that's KFC, that's Taco Bell Pizza Hut. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm going to talk with the CEO after earnings, find out what he's seeing. Then, looking for a shelf-stable stock in an uncertain market? Well, how about the CEO of Campbell's letting us know how things are going? And at a time when millions of people are losing their jobs, I know it seems kind of odd versus what the Dow did today. Well, how's ADP faring? I've got the CEO. So stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.